Hi Sai Karate Illuminati, this is Noah, and today I wanted to go over Jiyu-Undo, or free practice, of Kata application, specifically solo. So this is for when you don't have a partner available. This is basically taking your Kata movements and Kata applications that you know and shadowboxing with them. So the idea that I like to go with on this is that you pick a scenario, something where you're being attacked with some sort of habitual act of violence, and then you respond to it with a Kata application, and then from there you either go into potentially another attacker entirely in your mind, or the same attacker because they stopped it from working, it didn't work as well as you wanted, something to that effect. So if we look at it that way, we can sort of build a kata in a way if you're planning it, but you want to try to do these things relatively spontaneously. So something we can start with, let's say, for example, we're starting with a hockey punch. Somebody grabs your shirt and throws a punch. This is a pretty common attack. Gives them a datum or a point of reference, so they know exactly where you are and how far you are, and they can punch you. So if they have that, we can say, okay, well, I want to make contact with that, and I want to do something to stop the punch. Maybe that looks like this. Some of you have a kata that starts like this. Maybe I pull this down a little bit more and I throw this more over the top. Some of us have a kata that has something more like that. So you can start with something this way, and then, okay, I've stopped him from punching me, I need to do something to him. So I decide what I'm going to do. Maybe it's throwing this elbow in, for example. So now I've got something that, okay, I've got 2 bits of kata, or 1 bit of kata, depending on what you choose. Now we can go into something else. You can stick with the kata itself. Maybe from here, if I wanted to go into Naihanchi, well, Naihanchi pulls like this from here. So if I imagine that he blocked this somehow, then maybe I want to grab it and pull it back so that I've locked his arm. But I don't have to follow the kata. The whole idea of this is for it to be free practice. So even if I did start here with my Naihanchi application, and he blocked it, I don't have to do the next movement in the kata. I don't even need to do a movement from that kata. I could, maybe from here, I just decide to switch to this. That's still Naihanchi, but we've changed the spot. We could also entirely move on to something else. If I've come here and they block, I could maybe drop into kosaku and try and take them down this way. So you essentially get this flow of, okay, I've started here, I've struck, they've done something, I try and take them down. Maybe that doesn't work, maybe I have to try to step up higher and throw them. Maybe they step out of it entirely. Maybe it does work and I want to move on to something else. So you can go into, again, other attacks as well. So maybe I came in here, boom, elbowed, throw him over. Maybe now I decide, okay, that's the end of that guy. Somebody's doing a shoulder grab pulling punch. It's related, we have that same grab and punch idea, but this is somebody coming from behind. So maybe we want to practice that. Well, from here, then I can circle around and maybe go into something like Goju Shiho, maybe something a little more Seisanish. You've got a lot of different options for it. So the idea is that you don't want to make a kata. You don't want to decide I'm going to do this, 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 and this in this order, and I'm going to, practice that until I have the pattern. The idea is you want to imagine a scenario in your head and freely move through it. So it shouldn't be the same every time, right? You decide on different attacks. You decide that the opponent does something different. And even sometimes you'll go through this and you will do things reflexively because kata do them already. So there are times where you'll do a certain application and you may have had something else in mind, but your body just does something. And you can still probably find a way where that movement that you did works as an application. It's a way that you can explore the way that your kata applications can all tie together, the way all those movements that you've practiced can go from one to the next. And it's also giving you that visualization that you should be doing during kata, but instead of it being a set, we know exactly what's next, it's a little more open to interpretation and you can play with different options.